What do you like? Tell me what you like.
There's value in that because it almost gives the brain like a vacation, right?
Holistic health is completely underappreciated, but so critical. Eating whole foods, and the key is just to find something that you really enjoy.
Welcome to the NAMP Nourishing You podcast. I'm Kristen Burkett.
And I'm Diana Wally. We're your hosts for NAMP's podcast dedicated to connecting holistic health enthusiasts with each other to share practical information from the holistic wellness space for enhanced vitality.
Diana and I are master nutrition therapists, board certified in holistic nutrition with private practices and an online joint venture that supports clients and practitioners as they strive to reach their full potential. We're honored to be hosting this podcast for NAMP and connecting our listeners with the latest in holistic wellness.
And if you enjoyed today's show, help us out by commenting below, liking this video, and subscribing to the channel to help us spread the word.
This episode of the Nourishing You podcast is brought to you by Pure Essentials.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to this episode of the Nourishing You podcast. We're excited to talk with Pauline Adeleke today about fitness to the end. Fitness has always been a part of my life, according to Pauline, and she would go so far to say that it has credited her with being not only physically fit, but mentally sharp as well at the youthful age of 72. I've always had an active lifestyle, according to Ms. Adeleke, yet after the sudden death of her husband, she found herself falling into a pit of depression and despair. She was left with two small children, ages 4 and 5, to raise alone. Besides my God, my Christian faith, and my two little boys, fitness was my saving grace. In moving my body, I was able to have moving meditations as I talked to God and held tightly to my anchor of faith. After the children grew into adulthood, that's when Ms. Adeleke really buckled down and became a personal trainer and shared her passion for fitness with people, especially women over 50. Her brand, Ageless Fitness Lifestyle, inspires and motivates people to step out of their comfort zones and cherish their temples, their bodies, through exercise and nutrition. Ms. Adeleke is an unabashed fitness guru offering exercise and nutrition programs to clients. Pauline leads by example, demonstrating the benefits of an active lifestyle with her exercises across various social media platforms. If I can be fit and healthy at 72, so can anyone else. You don't have to throw in the towel once you've reached a certain age, or any age for that matter. Pauline, we're so excited to have you today. Thanks for being with us.
The invitation. I really appreciate you just thinking about me. How long have you guys known about me?
I heard you on Dr. Gabrielle Lyons' podcast
Okay.
and fell in love. Like literally, I was like, she is amazing. And so then I went to your Instagram and YouTube and Kristen, I think similar to you.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how you found it. Yeah, you're just such a breath of fresh air and so much energy.
Thank you so much. And that was the first time I ever did a podcast was with Dr. Gabrielle. So that was the first time.
Really?
And
Wow.
it was really crazy because my son lives in San Diego. And she happened to be in San Diego. So that's where we got together and we did it there. And now we're the best of friends. I love her to pieces.
She is incredible. And
Yes.
and you have something in common where she's a trained geriatrician. Is that correct? Yeah.
Correct. Yes,
Yeah.
she is.
So
And her husband is a Navy SEAL and my son is a Navy SEAL. So that's where we have in common for real.
Get out. That's incredible.
Yeah. It's a small world.
It is. Well, our audience is in for such a treat today, as you probably know by what we've been saying here. But I should say that if you're listening to this on a podcast versus watching us on YouTube, after the show, you have to go check out Pauline's Instagram, her YouTube channel to see what a beautifully strong woman she is.
Thank you, Diana.
Incredible.
Thank
But
you.
before we dive into your current focus with, fitness in the later years, Pauline, would you give us a brief recap of your story and how you landed where you are today?
Well, it goes all the way back to like 1962 or 67, something like that. Adults lead by example. And when I was growing up, a little girl, I would see my relatives, and some of them would be getting very ill at a very early age. And I guess at the age of 8 or 9, I made a mental note to myself that I would take care of myself. If God gave me 30, 40, 50 years old, I was going to take care of myself. So there are two things in my childhood that really stuck in my mind. Number one, I had an aunt, and she dealt with domestic abuse, and I saw it. And, just seeing her go through these issues, I said, oh no, that will never happen to me. I could never let that happen to me. And number two, as I said earlier, seeing adults, get fingers amputated and legs amputated because of diabetes and high blood pressure and all this other kind of madness. So again, I just made a mental note to myself, and I said, when I grow up, it's not going to be like that. It's not going to be like that. And I think that that's the gift. God put so many wonderful treasures within our spirit. And I think that that's one of the gifts that he gave me when I was a young girl. Open your eyes wide so you can see what you want to experience in this world and what you do not want to experience. So I'm just so grateful that, he gave me the gift of wisdom into how to take care of myself. And I took that gift and I just ran with it.
So how did you get from little girl to today being interested in this fitness world?
Well, little girl to today, let's see. Number one, the death of my husband quickly. I had to do something. Either I sat on the sofa and cried my eyeballs out, or I moved my body. So I chose the latter, and I just started moving and moving, and it helped me to get through my grief. It helped me to get through my mild depression. And having two little children, that was another trigger that told me you don't have the comfort, you don't have the advantage of just sitting down and doing nothing. You have to move your body. So that's what I started to do. I just started working out. And after my husband passed away, we lived in West Africa. I came back to the States, and I started teaching. I started teaching elementary school, and then I would teach a course on art history at the City University College of New York. So I did that, and I would wake up in the mornings like 4:30 in the morning, and I would just run up and down the steps 7 times, and then I would wake up the children and get them ready for school. And I noticed that just that physical exercise alone, not only was it helpful for my body, but it was helpful for my mind, for my brain, for the way I was thinking. And then I just took the baton a little bit further by when I hit I think I was like 45, about 45 years old. I said, you know what, Pauline, we're going to turn our passion of fitness into a business. And that's what I did. And I'm so grateful that I did, because I've been so fortunate to help women in their late 40s, 50s, 60s, and beyond, and let them know that it's not over once you reach a certain age. That's my message. That's my passion, to let women know that you're only in second gear, especially after menopause. Let's start an ageless fitness lifestyle revolution. That's my passion. That's my passion.
I
I
love
wish
it.
you were a little more excited about it, though.
I know, and I'm trying to turn the volume down, but I can't help myself.
No, don't.
Why can't I help myself, Diana and Chris?
No, don't.
Because
Yeah.
so many women give up on themselves after the age of 50.
Mhm.
Even as young as 40 years old, they are saying that they are old. And they've given up on their physical well-being, their mental well-being, and nutritionally. They're eating everything in sight, and they're wondering, why are they gaining the menopausal belly? Why are they breaking out with acne? Why are they having these symptoms that could be overcome by eating the right way and moving your body?
It seems like it's simple, but it just doesn't always, I guess, resonate that way with everyone. But we agree with your passion, and we're 100% with you. Well, thank you for sharing that. That gives us a really good feel for how, why Pauline is who she is, and
Yes,
your
yes.
passion. We love
Yeah,
that.
and to your audience, if you're sad, if you're grieving, if you're depressed, I encourage you, please just start moving your body. You will be amazed at how that will help you. That's better than any pill any kind of medication that you could put in your mouth. Just move your body and get some sun. Get outside and move.
Yeah, those basics are so important. Well, and
Yes.
to put that in perspective, so this episode is part of our series on health in the elderly population,
Okay.
focusing specifically on fitness. And in our society, elderly or senior citizen is defined, I guess, as those who are 65 and older. We know there's a huge range of health that's aligned in that group. According to the US Department of Health and Human Services, less than 15% of Americans in this group get the recommended amounts of aerobic and muscle strengthening activity as outlined in the physical activity guidelines for Americans. So those guidelines state 150 minutes of moderate aerobic activity or 75 minutes of vigorous aerobic activity per week and 2 days a week of muscle strengthening work. Now that's, those are some definitions. We don't always have to go strictly within those definitions, but just to kind of lay out there what's sort of expected from us and how few people are actually participating in any degree of that. Pauline, why do you think it's so important to be fit as we age? And why do you think those numbers are so small?
Number one, the numbers are so small because of the propaganda that's out here. Because once you reach a certain age, the culture, the propaganda tells you, oh, you should be on medication. You should take this pill for your memory. You should take this pill for your anxiety. You see, it's the pharmaceutical companies have this thing on lockdown. And because they have this thing on lockdown, the advertisement about moving your body is not that prevalent as it should be. They don't want to put a 72-year fitness warrior on primetime television or in a commercial and tell you that it's another way to be fit and healthy. They don't want that, because if they do, then you're taking money out of their pockets. So let's keep the propaganda going that you should be on medication, and that if you have fogginess in your mind, oh, that's all a part of aging. If your sugar levels are high, if you're anxious, if you cannot sleep, that's just the symptoms of aging. So take this medication and deal with it. That's my answer to that question. You gave me another question. I'm sorry. What was the other one?
Oh, just why you think it's so important to be fit as we age.
It's important to be fit because your girl is 72 years young, Kristen and Diana. And I'm not on any kind of medications at all. The only medication that I'm on is on the medication of life and fitness and health and strength. That's it. That's it. That's it.
love that.
You have to move your body. And not only do you have to move your body, you have to be an educated consumer. What do I mean by that? I remember one time I got off the fitness bandwagon. When I went to Spain. I was in Spain for about 3 months, and I was learning the language, and I was involved with the culture, and I was having a fabulous time. I was drinking the sangria. I was eating the food. I was going crazy. So when I got back to New York for my annual fitness, for my annual examination, when I went to the doctor said to me, I don't want to see you in a year. I don't want to see you in 6 months. I want to see you in 3 months. Because if you don't get your cholesterol numbers down, if you don't get your weight down, I'm going to have to put you on statins. That's all I needed to hear. That's all I needed to hear. So, and before going to the doctor, I was putting on my clothes and everything, and I put on some slacks, and they didn't fit. And I said, what is wrong with these slacks? Surely it's not me. Surely it's not me. But when I went to the doctor confirmed that, yes, Pauline, it is you. It is you. And when I heard his response, and knowing that I knew what to do, then I got back on the fitness bandwagon. I started working out. I started lifting weights. I started doing my resistance training. I started eating healthy. No more comida de España. No more Spanish food. No more. No more. Just plant-based food. I'm a plant-based girl, vegetarian girl. Eating correctly, eating clean, drinking water, not any kind of water, but my own wonderful filtered water, And I went back within a 3-month period. I think I was about 15 pounds, maybe about 15, 20 pounds lighter. And he said, what in the world did you do? And I got a little nervous, I must confess. I said, what do you mean? What did I do? He said, your cholesterol numbers are good. Your pressure is good. Your weight is great. What did you do? And I told him. And I don't think he shared the secret with the majority of his patients because that wouldn't be good for the business. But I told him. I did tell him.
Good for you. Good for you. I know working with nutrition clients as a nutrition coach, I will sometimes get clients that have had success, a story similar to yours, but they want to schedule some sessions to make sure that they're eating, the right micronutrients and they're doing everything they can do. And I always ask them, tell me how you did it. And it's really interesting to hear those anecdotes. So thank you for sharing that and what you could do to improve your health in 3 months. I mean, Kristen and I have seen that happen. It's incredible.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that. I one of the problems that I've detected in this country is that we want to be like sheep. We want to follow. But living in this time that we live in right now, you don't have to follow anybody. All you have to do is just open up the computer and do your research. My sugar levels are high. What should I do? Do your research. Cross that research and do more research. You do not have to be, and I love doctors. I mean, my daughter-in-law is a doctor, but you don't have to be led by what the doctors say. Because if you look at your doctor, 8 times out of 10, they are overweight. They are on all kinds of medications. So, be different. Be different than what's expected out here. Be different than what the propaganda tells you that you should be when you're 50, 60, 70 years old. I'm just so excited with the comments that I get from young ladies in their 50s and their 60s, and they say, I'm so glad I met you. And you know what I say? I'm glad I met you too, because I don't want 72 years old to be something amazing in the next 10, 15 years. I want to see more fitness coaches at 70 years young, at 80 years young, to let women know that it's possible. To let them know that it's possible.
I wonder what, it seems like a lot of people will use, I don't know, excuse might be too harsh of a word, but people come up with reasons why they can't. And
Kristen, please forgive me for interrupting you. You say excuses might be too harsh of a word. I disagree.
okay,
You know what?
I'm good with that.
People make commitments to themselves. You make a commitment to your excuses, and you make a commitment to your well-being. The commitment that you make to your excuse is, oh, I'm a night person. I could never get up early in the morning. The commitment, oh, I'm too old to lift. I don't want to hurt myself. That's a commitment that you've made to your excuses and to your way of thinking. So change the mindset. Question everything you hear.
Yeah, I think there's, and I don't know if it's just culture in the United States or if it's beyond here, but I feel like, and I don't know, maybe it'll change for like Diana and my generation versus people older than us, the generation above us. But it seems like there's sort of a generational attitude, or maybe it's lack of education around the fact that we don't have to be frail, and
Absolutely.
that elderly doesn't have to equate to frailty. I think there's almost an attitude that it does. And like you said, I think it's propaganda driven a lot, like what we're being fed.
It is, especially being women. Can you imagine how much propaganda has been thrown at us at the age of 18? I mean, I don't know if I know you weren't around, but have you ever heard of a model by the name of Twiggy?
Yes.
When I was a young girl, Twiggy was the norm. Be as skinny as a stick. Do you know how many young girls lost their lives trying to be like that? But that was the propaganda. You're beautiful if you're as skinny as a stick. So again, and I know I'm repeating myself, but the propaganda now is, you're old, you're 50, you're 60. So, be happy that you've made it this far. And take this pill and sit down and, do the best you can until your lights go out. That's a lie. That's a lie.
Yeah, kind of to that point of what you're talking about. It's interesting that many people feel like when they retire, they get to, or they're entitled to retire from everything, including moving their bodies.
I agree.
Yeah. And so one of the things that Kristen and I love about your approach is that you really meet people where they are.
Yeah.
For example, if someone isn't physically active, they don't necessarily need to go from sitting on the couch to running a marathon, because that is obviously very overwhelming and could lead to injury potentially. So talk to us about the different options that you teach to keep us active and moving our bodies as we get older, and that don't seem so overwhelming.
Yeah, if you're just getting started, try some of my exercise snacks. And they could be as simple as getting up out of the chair, just doing little squats in your chair. As simple as that. It could be as simple as doing push-ups against the wall. It could be as simple as doing donkey kicks against the wall, where you're strengthening your glutes, and you really want to strengthen your glutes, because that's the main catalyst for your balance. And if your glutes aren't strong, then you're opening the door up to falling in the shower, falling in the bathtub, and then you're opening yourself up to a nursing home. So I teach my clients in the beginning to do what you can. And then slowly, 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 you will increase with your weights that you're lifting, with the exercises that you do. But just start. I don't want my girls to give up on themselves. My girls in their 50s and their 60s, I don't want them to give up on themselves. I want them to check their mindset. I don't have the mindset of a 72-year-old person. I have the mindset of a 40-year-old, of a 30-year-old. And it's really funny because I do have friends who are the same age as I am. As a matter of fact, I'm really blessed because I have friends that I went to elementary school with and junior high school with, and they're still with me. But I also have friends in their 30s and their 40s. And the beauty of this is that they will give me a call in the summertime and they'll say, come on. They call me Auntie Pauline. Come on, Auntie Pauline, let's go work out at the calisthenics park. Let's go work out. And I'll be there in 15 minutes. Let's go. Let's go. So to your audience, I want you to be cognizant of the people that you surround yourself with. Yes, surround yourself with your contemporaries, but watch their conversation. And if their conversation is that of, oh, we're getting old, we can't do what we used to do, then slowly backtrack from that or slowly just turn that off in your head. Please forgive me. I just get so excited.
I love it. You're so spot on. It's just you're ringing the right bells.
Because I had a girlfriend. We grew up with one another, and she said to me one day, and keep in mind, she's had like a couple of knee replacements and whatnot, and she said, we're really just too old to be doing this. And I said, I didn't want to insult her, but I said, speak for yourself. Don't speak for me. Don't put me in your we column. No, don't do it. Again, be careful of the conversations that enter your mind.
The Pure Essentials mission is to reclaim health for humanity through products and services that are science-based, simple to use, and life-changing. They do this by providing vitamins, minerals, and essential nutrients in the highest quality forms available. The integrity and efficacy of their products are paramount, using ethically and sustainably sourced ingredients in unique and novel delivery systems that promote your body's natural healing ability.
Yeah. When you talk about continuing to do activity and strength work into our later years, is there an age at which it's appropriate to stop, or do you see yourself until the day you're not here?
For real.
Continuing.
For real. Forgive my language. Hell no. God gave you the strength to put one foot in front of the other. God gave you the strength to lift up a water bottle. If you don't have dumbbells, get your water bottle. Why waste away? Kristen and Diana, I'm going to be getting after it until the time he calls me home. And then when he does call me home, I'm going to be the first to be at the Ruby Golden Gate Gym, working out with my new body.
I love it. One of the other things that I really appreciate about your approach is that it looks like a lot of your videos and things are done at home.
Yes.
And so people, I think one of the barriers to someone getting started or staying physically active is they think, well, I have to get the right clothes and the right shoes, and then I have to find a gym and find a trainer. But you really can you can get fit at home.
You can get fit at home. And that's how I lost my 20 plus pounds. I didn't go to the gym because I knew what I had to do. I'm embarrassed to say, but I had a treadmill here. I had weights here, and I live in a building. I live in New York City. I have 17 flights of steps in my building. So really, it's no excuse. So I would be running up and down the steps at least 4 or 5 times. You know, there's really no excuse. There is no excuse to improve in your health. You know, if your mind is holding you back, talk to your friends, talk to the man of God, talk to your minister, talk to somebody to help you. Because when it comes down to it, it's all a mental thing. This thing up here controls everything. It controls everything. If we say, well, you know, I really don't feel like working out today, then you're not going to work out. If you say, you know what, I'm going to be just as stubborn as the fat around my belly. I'm going to be just as stubborn, and I'm going to work that fat off until I see it go. Be stubborn. Be stubborn with your goals. Be stubborn with what you want to take place in your body. No matter how old, aka wise you are, or young. It's never too late. It's never too late. As long, you know what, my favorite Olympic to look at, and I'm probably it's called the what is the Olympics where the people who have
Like the Paralympics?
yes,
Yeah.
no legs, no
Yes.
arms, no fingers. And I saw an athlete, and he was doing archery. And Kristen, the only thing he had was his teeth. And he won a gold medal. I love seeing things like that. I mean, you don't have any legs and you're playing basketball and tennis? Come on. It's no excuse. It's no excuse.
Yeah.
So, you know, who's ever watching or listening to this, I'm grateful that you tuned in. That us 3 ladies are here to remind you it's no excuse. You have to take care of your body. You cannot give this responsibility to the healthcare industry. You can't do it because their thing is not preventive or proactive. It's just putting a bandage on something that by the time you get to them, the scar is even larger. It's even bigger.
And, you know, before we move on, I just wanted to highlight one other thing that you said about exercise snacks, which is one of my favorite things. And because one of your Instagram posts, you were saying, I do this ab workout, like I'm cleaning my house and then I sit down on my bench and I do this for my abs and then I get back up and continue to clean. And I love that because I think another barrier is time for people. So they think, well, if I don't have an hour to work out, what good is it? But I tell clients, so I do enjoy going to the gym and hiking and that sort of thing, but we also have weights in our basement of our house, and you know, just as like a modest setup. But if it's a day that I'm finding that I'm quite busy, even if I don't have a half hour to do it, I'll sometimes go down and do 10 minutes. I'll do like 2 exercises for 10 minutes, and then I'll go like right at lunchtime and do another 10 minutes, and then maybe just as my days are wrapping up, I'll do another 10 minutes. So then I got a 30-minute workout. You don't have to do it all at once, and who doesn't have 10 minutes? So I love your how you hammer home the importance of exercise snacks.
And
if you don't
know what you did, Diana, to your audience who's listening, you built confidence blocks. You've built little confident blocks within yourself. I know I'm going to do it. I have the confidence in myself to do it. And with my exercise snacks, I'm working on a goal for this summer. So, of course, in the morning, as soon as I wake up, I say my prayers, I do my affirmations, and then I start doing my exercise. I start working out. because that's my morning coffee. That's my caffeine, moving my body. So I will work out for about an hour and a half on a good day. I'll work out for 2 hours on a fabulous day. And, I'll work out for 30, 45 minutes on a good day. But those days when I work out for 35, 45 minutes, I make sure that I incorporate exercise snacks within the day. And exercise snacks, I'm a database girl. I'm always recording the exercise snacks. I'll have a book, or I'll get my phone and I'll put in there 25 crunches. Boom, put it down, then do what I got to do. And then maybe an hour later, 25 squats. And then I'll look at that, and by the end of the day, sometimes I've knocked out 500 crunches. I've knocked out an additional 25, 35 squats. So when you hold yourself accountable, you're starting to build confidence within yourself, especially right now if you're presently overweight. You can say, I'm going to build those little stepping stones by doing what I said I was going to do. I was going to do that exercise snack for less than 3 minutes. Less than 3 minutes doing some squats. Less than 1 minute getting 25 crunches in. I'm building those little exercise snacks within myself. And since I'm doing that, it's nothing that I can't do. It's nothing that I can't do. I don't care how old I am. I don't care how old they say I am. I can do anything.
So for those people that might have knee or back injuries or osteoporosis or something like that, that they feel might be holding them back, or they may not be able to do these things safely, do you have guidance for that, or
Take
what would you
it.
recommend?
Number one, I don't want you to go out and run a marathon. I want you to take it real. I want you to listen to your body. It's really funny. I'm glad you asked that question, because I had an aunt, and her name was Aunt Doki. And Aunt Doki passed away when she was 104 years old. And I would go to Aunt Doki's house every day, and she had osteoporosis. I mean, she had osteoporosis so bad that she was bent over. But what we would do, we would get like 2-pound weights, and we would do punches for about a minute. And then she would get out of her chair, and she would get out, and she would sit back in. She would move her body. So for those individuals who are challenged with issues like osteoporosis, don't let osteoporosis get the best of you. Be a fighter and move what you can move. Do what you can do. Those days that you have the energy to walk or to pick up a weight, not only a weight, but a water bottle, and do some curls. Do it. Do not be defeated by the diagnosis. Don't let it hold you back. Just take it nice and slow and listen to your body.
That's great advice. And then, that kind of leads into what I wanted to ask you next. I've heard you say, and I totally believe, that you are a force of nature. We're seeing that today when it comes to helping older women and their fitness. And I think we all know that it's as much about mindset, as you've alluded to, as it is about how much weight is lifted. And I just feel like this is one of your key strengths. And I would love for you to talk to us a little bit about mindset when it comes to aging and vitality, and just give us a little more of your
Mindset is everything, because we are being programmed from the minute we wake up. So either you can accept these messages or you can say, oh no, I can't go with that. I can't go with the message that I need a pill to get rid of the brain fog. No, you don't need a pill. All you need to do is move your body. Get that cardio in. Mindset is everything. Oh, I'm 50, I'm 60, I'm 70 years old. I mean, I have young ladies sending me messages at 50 years old telling me that they're in a state of deep depression because they're getting ready to turn 51. That's a mindset thing. I mean, flush that negativity down the toilet and look in the mirror and embrace the wonderful divine creature that you are, and know that you can do anything that you set your mind to do, no matter how old, young, no matter what position that you are in. You can do it. You have to change the channel in your mind. You got to change that channel. I'm changing the channel to the I can channel. I'm changing the channel to I can do it. I can do all things. There's nothing that I can't do. But of course, I want you to be cautious, but I don't want you to fall into the propaganda that is being fed to us from the minute we wake up, especially being women.
That's so good.
Really is. And I think, I don't know why, like, to me, like, when I turned 50 and now turned 60, I'm kind of seeing it as like, this is liberating. Like, my kids are out of the house. Yeah, I'm still working, but I have a definitely different level of free time on my hands than I did when I was raising children. Like,
Yes.
now I can so much
Oh,
more,
Kristen,
right?
I'm giving you a high five across the country. Boom.
Oh.
You don't have any children in the house. And if you do have children, they're out of the house. You don't have any grandchildren in the house. And we love our grandchildren. I love my grandchildren. But you have your freedom now. You have your freedom to be the best version of you. Not only do you have your freedom to be the best version of you, you have your freedom to set an example. When I go to California and I hang out with, and as soon as I get through the door, Grandmommy, when can we do an exercise video on YouTube? I love it. Because they will always remember me when I make my transition as an active grandmother. And since their grandmother was active, they have to be active. You understand what I'm saying? So the goal is my youngest granddaughter, the only granddaughter that I have, is 4 years old. And my oldest grandchildren are 10 years old. So 4 to 10. The goal is to go to their weddings and dance and have a good time and move my body and show them what is possible. Especially, we're so blessed to be living on this timeline that we're living on right now. So we have to take advantage of the information that's at our disposal. And we have wonderful information. All you have to do is, you don't know what to do, go to YouTube. They have exercises for senior citizens, including agelessfitnesslifestyle.com. I'm on there. I'm on YouTube. I'm everywhere. And I praise God for using me as the instrument that He's used me to let people know that it's not over. It's not over once you've reached a certain age.
I like that you brought up in regards to mindset, having a why, of playing with your grandchildren, being at their weddings. And I do talk to my clients about that, is really like finding your why, because that can when things get tough, or maybe you don't necessarily feel like, eating the broccoli versus the cake, or doing your workout first thing in the morning, that why can really be inspiring. And I have many. My daughters and I have, friendly competitions about, how much can you do in farmer carries, and
I
how,
love it.
you know what I mean? Silly things like that. Or I have, one of my whys is I'd like to travel and to be able to put my suitcase up above my carry-on, and I went on a girls' trip for a 60th birthday friend, a girls' trip. All four of us went, and I put all three of their suitcases. I was like,
love it.
let me put the suitcases. So, or just things like that. I think it can be very inspiring if you're in a little bit of a like on the struggle bus, with nutrition or fitness.
Right. I agree with you 100%. When I was a young adult in my 20s, I used to be a flight attendant, and it was the best job that I ever had because I got the opportunity to fly all over the world. And that bug is still inside of me. And that's one of my whys. I don't want to have to be wheeled to the airplane. I don't want to do that. I don't want to have to go through the airport with an oxygen tubes. I don't want to do that. I want to travel. I want to continue to dance. I want to continue to, hang out with my 30 and 40-year-old friends. I want to be able to keep it going. That's a big enough reason for why to stay active.
Yeah.
Move your body.
And even if you don't like this, someone listening may say, well, I don't like to travel. What about carrying your groceries? Like something as simple as carrying your grocery bags and, being able to put those. I did have he was being nice. I had a nice young man ask me if I needed help getting my grocery to the car. And I was like, I work out. I do. He was probably like, whoa, okay, lady. But, but you want just the activities of daily living.
You do. You want to be independent.
Yes, independent.
I don't want to be a burden on my children. And I see people who are younger than I am, and their children have to come and go grocery shopping and take them to the doctor's appointment and take me here and there. No, I don't want to be a burden. I want my children to enjoy their life just like I'm enjoying mine. Independence, that's the key why.
Beautiful. Well, we've talked about, I know you've shared a lot of things already that you do, but is there anything that you haven't touched on that you incorporate into your own life that you think makes a big difference? Things that you teach to others that we haven't covered?
This is such a divisive time that we live in, and I say this to say the carnivores against the keto against the paleo against the vegetarians. I'm a vegetarian girl, as I say, and I would just encourage people, whatever rocks your boat, that's good. If it's healthy, do it. Eat clean. I eat clean. Try and limit your visits to restaurants and fast food places. Prepare your own food for yourself. You know what I mean? Do it. Cook for yourself. If you don't know how to cook, again, we're living in a fabulous time. All you got to do is get on YouTube and check out some restaurants. I love to cook. I love to cook. I love to eat. I think that's one of the reasons why I work out the way I do, because I really, really, really eat, but I eat clean. I eat nutritious foods too. And you know what? I know I'm such a nerd when it comes to taking care of your body. I have books on the brain, food for the brain. I have books about your cells and how they bring all the different nutrients throughout your body and whatnot. I'm reading a really good book right now. And the name of the book, maybe you've heard of it. It's called Good Energy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Excellent book. Excellent book, because she breaks it down for the lay person to understand the magnificence of your body. It's so wonderful. So I say this to say, I eat clean because I know it's not only me eating. Every cell in my body is eating the food that I'm putting in my mouth. So I don't want to feed my cells Doritos. I don't want to feed my cells potato chips. I want to feed my cells healthy, nutritious food that is going to continue to give me the energy of a Duracell bunny at 72 years young.
You are the Energizer Bunny. That's perfect. That's exactly
Yep.
what you are.
You're singing our song as
Thank
nutrition
you.
therapists. Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank
Yes.
you.
So I know we have listeners today that are going to make some very positive changes in their life because
I
of this
hope so.
conversation.
I hope so. I pray so. I salute both of you for stepping out in faith and developing this website and your podcast, because you're helping so many people. It's such a wonderful time to be alive, as I said before. And again, thank you. Thank you for doing what you do. Thank you for educating men, but educating women, to let them know that they have choices, and they have a big responsibility, and that responsibility is taking care of themselves.
Yeah. No victims, right? No victims.
No victims. No.
Right. So you've mentioned it once before, but tell us again where our audience can find you and learn more about your programs.
Oh, that's so kind of you. On Instagram, I'm at Pauline Adeleke at Instagram. I have a website, and at that website, I lead you to my app, which I have exercises there on the apps for beginners. I have exercise for intermediate. And believe it or not, I have exercises for advanced. And I have meal plans for you if you don't know what to put in your body, if you don't know how to fuel your body, if you don't know any good recipes. I have everything on my website, agelessfitnesslifestyle.com. I'm on Twitter, I'm on LinkedIn at Pauline Adeleke. And thank you so much. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, thank you. And every time I mostly follow you on Instagram, and I open it and it just makes me smile. So yeah, so thank you for spreading so much joy, so much wisdom, and so much health. So thank you. You're such a joy.
Thank you so much, Kristen and Diana. I appreciate you so much. This has been a lot of fun. I knew it would be.
It sure has. So come to Colorado. We talked about this before we started the show off camera, but we're having you out to Colorado. So
I'm coming 2025. You know, isn't it? I'm sounding like a parrot, but it's a wonderful time to be alive, because you meet people and new friends all around the world. I'm going to be going to Birmingham, Alabama in 25. I'm going to be going to cities in Florida, people who I just met online. So it's wonderful, and I gratefully accept the invitation.
Excellent. Well, speaking of friends, we thank all of our friends out there listening to us in podcast land and YouTube land. We really appreciate you all spending your time with us. And until next time, be well.
Take care. Bye-bye.
To learn more about Pure Essentials, go to www.pure-essentials.com.
If you'd like to access other episodes or subscribe so you don't miss a beat, you can find us at nanp.org/NAMP-podcast.
Looking for a board-certified holistic nutrition professional to support you on your health journey? Go to nanp.org/find-a-practitioner and get started.
Membership in the NAMP provides you with a competitive advantage. Whether you're a current practitioner or a student, we want you to become an active, informed leader of the holistic nutrition community and join NAMP.org today. Are you ready to go a step further? Boost your credibility with board certification in holistic nutrition. Visit NAMP.org today to apply.
Keep in mind that the information on the NANP podcast is for educational purposes only and should not be considered medical or legal advice. The NANP is not liable or responsible for any harm, damage, or illness arising from the use of the information contained herein. By listening to the information on this podcast, you agree to defend, indemnify, and hold harmless the NANP and all agents. Copyright NANP, all rights reserved.
Until next time, stay nourished.